Oh, watch out.
I almost tripped and fell there. That's what that noise was, but that's okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, when I say that's okay, I mean, the grass is right there, but they always say the grass is never always greener on the other side. Found out that the hard way.
Oh, they got the other one built.
Now renting this one. Diacrally, now renting. Like I say, last time I looked, it was $2,000 for a one bedroom in this place. I mean, look at the place though. I mean, wow, isn't that gorgeous? Yeah. Well, unfortunately, people with disabilities, they get maximum $500. The shelter allowance was $375. But if your rent actually went up by just a little bit, you were able to get that $125 increase, but it only went to some people with disabilities.
The new ones are built.
Okay, we'll take a look at that in just a moment. There's another building just on my left-hand side here. And I saw these ones getting built years ago when I lived here. They're very nice inside. The price was right at the time. Unfortunately, yeah, I had to give my 30 days notice in, but I couldn't just up and move because the person wasn't available to move out at the time. So yeah, it was one of those situations where you can't just up and just go and get into these places unless you're couch surfing and you have a no fixed address. Then it's easier to get into them, right? But also, you know, the affordability issue too. Once again, yeah, you can build and build and build, and that's great, but the problem is, are they actually affordable for the person's income?
The sidewalk is closed ahead.
Sidewalk is closed ahead. And this is the building that Sonjia had just mentioned when I was describing about the other building on my left-hand side there. This building here is finally built. Last time I was out here, there was just the foundation that was getting laid. Oh my gosh, it's now fully built. I wonder how much these are. I haven't seen the advertising for it because I don't know who owns them. But usually there's a listing in the area.
It's identical to our building.
Yeah, the building that we used to live in, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that will be on the next phase once we get once we get out that way, I will show a picture of what the building looks like. Yeah, but this is a beautiful looking building too. Wow, look at that. Always such beautiful buildings. But unfortunately, we're not allowed to live in these buildings. I'd like to live in these buildings, but oh well. This is the front part of the building. I thought it was actually fully completed. I guess the building itself is getting almost next to completion, but a lot of the cosmetic stuff on the outside has to be done. But it's like the place that we used to live in. It was the same kind of situation. It looked like this. It just takes time to get it complete. Yeah, it would be nice. Nice location here. It would be nice to live in here. But I'll have to inquire and find out how much they're renting it for. Maybe they'll be nice and rent it for $500. I'll tell them all. I'll just tell them, well, that's what the BC government gives people with disabilities. And I'll ask them, are they willing to rent it for $500? Because some disabled people get $500, some only get $375, and some get to have rent geared to income. So that doesn't make any sense to me. Why there's a three-part equation there. And so with this being said, with this building here that I'm showing you, right across from here, all the way,
5 floors.
5 floors here, and then and of course all the way down to that other building. There was 3 houses along this whole lot. It's amazing. Last time when we were out here, the foundation was getting put in there, Sonjia, remember?
What?
The foundation, this building was just getting put in last time when we were here.
Right there.
Yeah.
That was in May.
Yeah. So now we're, that was in May, and now we're end of October. October 31st, Halloween. Wouldn't that be a treat? The trick is to get the government to actually allow PWD to rent these places. And the treat would be to actually move in to a place like this. Trick or treat.
Start all over again.
Start over again. But the thing is, I will explain that when we get to our place that we used to live at. You know, kind of look back at memory lane and say, well, you know, what should have been, what could have been, and what has resulted in why it is. And I'll explain that when we get to our next
Maybe you should
part
buy a
here.
lotto ticket while we're out here.
Don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. Put that money as a down payment to rent. The government would love us just to waste our money on lottery tickets. Goes right back in, but they don't actually increase their rates with it. Imagine if every disabled person put money into it, and the government actually put it into a pool fund and actually raised our rates with it. Imagine. So many things that could be. Yeah. There used to be a lot of houses right along the side of the road here, on the other side of the road. When I say on the side, this is this side, but on that other side, there was lots of houses all the way down. And they all got torn out before we moved away, and it was all grassy area all the way down there for quite a while. Looks like now foundation is actually finally getting laid here. It's interesting seeing what's going on there, like how it's come together. It'd be interesting to look and how big the buildings will be from months from now when I make it out here again. I don't know when I'll be out here again, because it gets quite costly taking BC ferries back and forth. And again, I miss this area because I grew up out here, and I really didn't want to move where I had moved to. out to Victoria. And people say, well, why did you move there? Because the housing was cheaper. And I'll get into that part of the segment once we get down to where we used to live and the reason why we moved again. And I've explained this in previous podcasts, and it's really disappointing because I grew up out here, but I'm not allowed to live out here because I not giving enough income to afford to live out here. I used to hear on the news all the time, people should be able to live or be in the communities that they want to be in. They shouldn't have to move away. Really? I hear that from governments too, all the way across the country. Oh, you should be able to live and be in the community that you want to be in. Well, I want to be in the community. I want to live in the community, but I'm not allowed to because I don't get enough money. Seniors, I hear that from seniors all the time also. I have seniors in the community in Victoria that live around where I live. I hear the stories all the time. They moved away, same thing. They didn't want to move away. They moved away with friends of the family or relatives, and but they had to basically drop everything that they had. They had to basically sell it all off in order to move. Now I'm in a situation where I'm in Victoria. Well, after I do this, I'll be heading back, and when I do, I'll be back there going, well, I'm in a place where I don't want to be. And this video is not all about me complaining that a place that being miserable and grumbling about it. It's just I miss the transit. I miss being able to get around from community to community and just having that freedom of being able to go to a community and getting back from a community without being stranded, and just having the freedom of being able to travel around my communities of what I'm familiar with, right? But when I move back to the Lower Mainland, when that may be, I don't know. The problem is, how do I get my stuff out here? Sell it all off, which I might have to do, because the government won't pay for the moving costs unless your building has been sold, condemned, uninhabitable. Yeah, I mean, they used to basically move people for like a medical reason. No, not anymore. No, unless your rent is substantially reduced in cost. Yeah, I think the word is significantly. Yeah, or substantially. It's just crazy wording. All these homes in this area, they all got bought up, one after another. I remember the one gentleman I used to see all the time, I talked to, and he put a brand new pool in his backyard. He just finished putting it in. It cost him a lot of money. I mean, he put all the foundation down, and he put stairs down there, and he put a whole walkway down from his balcony all the way down. He put some slides in there, some water slides, and right from his balcony all the way down into to the pool. I thought, oh wow, that was. And he said, yeah, it cost him a few good pennies to do that, but he did it. And next thing you know, the developer came along and said, hey, we want this land. Do you want to sell? He says, no, I'm not interested in selling. Well, they kept going to all the neighbors. Anyway, one by one, long story short, one by one, they started selling. He really didn't want to go. They gave him $1.5 million for his property, and he ended up having to buy a home in a mobile park because he didn't have enough money to buy a traditional house that he had owned for many decades. And the place that he bought was actually ended up being run down. It's unfortunate. And where would he go and live? I mean, after all those years, where would he going to go and live that's going to be affordable? Go and rent and pay, thousands of dollars for rent every month, and then what? Well, we got the diggers there. I guess they're gonna get ready to clear up more areas there once they get the construction going. So I'm just gonna zoom right over here now. And this is where we used to live. Wow. Doesn't that bring back memories, Sonjia?
Yep.
Wow.
Is it identical to the other building?
Yeah. Yeah, we used to live right at this building here, and see the sign out there. Yeah. Unfortunately, we had to move. So, getting to what I was explaining earlier, the reasons why. So the reasons why. I'm going to then turn the camera around in just a few moments here after I'm just doing a walkable video here, just so people can see where we're walking to. Isn't that a beautiful building? It's so neat. The architecture that was put into this building. It's just amazing. It's a huge building, actually. It's nice.
This one's only 4 floors.
This one's only 4 floors. A lot of the buildings are 5 floors now. Yeah. And here you can actually see an image. It's still there.
Yeah.
I think it's further up there, isn't it? Right up here.
You can really see it when it rains.
You can really see it when it rains. Now, I know people probably think, okay, hey, kind of weird. I'm filming some kind of part on the staircase here. There's an image that stands out here, actually. That's basically all I'm trying to say. You may see something, you may not, I don't know. You only see it usually when it rains, but so anyway, I just wanted to film that. Put that in the video in case it does stand out. I don't know. We did see something one time. I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. And if I come across it in some of my pictures, I will definitely post it out there. But the ramp that I was telling you about before in some of my podcast, see, I'm gonna walk up the ramp here. See, this is the ramp here. See, I'm gonna walk up here. See this ramp? It's great, right? One little flaw is they don't have the fob system. Let me see. Oh, looks like they do. Looks like they must have installed one in. Looks like it might be for the fob. Huh, interesting. If that's the case, they put one in there after we moved away. They didn't have one there before, so that must be something new. Yeah, these are, it's quite neat. A neat little walkway right down there too, eh? Yeah. This is the Henley, what I was telling you about. That's where we used to live. And reality is, we're standing here on the sidewalk. Yeah. So I'm just holding the coffee while I'm filming. And yes, we got the coffee. Double. But anyway, the joking around is, this is where we used to live. And we had to make a huge decision. That was back in 2021. In May. Wow, May 2021 already. So over 2 years ago, and we've been in Victoria since. We had to move out of here. And, just for people that are kind of following along here, when during COVID, BC had a $300 supplement, and the government said, well, we're going to give this to people to help them through their cost of living, because cost of living was going through the roof. Now it's even more through the roof, right? COVID hasn't ended. I mean, it's just going to be one of those situations that we have to deal with going forward. Now the cost factors, everything else keeps going up and up and up.
I see some trick-or-treaters.
Do you? Oh, okay. Great. Well, maybe I can check out some of those costumes in a bit. So with our decision with that was that the government had said, well, they're going to be taking it away. Okay, I'm not sure all that noise going on, but that's okay. So they had basically, the government had said, well, we're going to be taking it away. Oh, sorry. Yep, some people walking by there while I'm actually broadcasting live here. So the government said, well, they were going to take away the $300. You give it and then take it away because I guess cost of living, maybe they thought that the cost of living was coming down. I mean, I don't know. To me, cost of living doesn't go down. I always said that since I was a little kid. I always saw cost of living going up and up and up. I never saw it going back down. So I'm not sure the reason behind that is like you don't just give and then take it away. Because what happened was the NewsHour had interviewed us. We were doing a campaign at the time. It was called 300 to Live. And 300 is, well, you need more than 300 to live now, right?
Well, that was then.
That was in 2020. And
you need 2,000 and more.
Yeah, but that $300, basically the point of it though is, Sonjia, is that $300 was a make it or break it situation for us in this place here. When the reporters asked us what would happen if the government took away the $300, what would happen if they took away the $300?
We'd have to move.
Right. And so when we heard the announcement that they were going to be taking it away, well, we were devastated, and our management here at the building at the time was devastated too, because they...
And a lot of other managers in the city here were playing silly games with new tenants, saying you have to have a certain amount of money to live, or...
How much was that, Sonjia? Do you remember?
It was 4,000.
4,500, I think it was.
4,500 a month.
Yeah, that's right. And then the one manager said in another building was, well, they would probably go with $4,000 only if the government was to increase our each incomes to no less than $2,000 each. And we had to then prove to them that we were getting $2,000 each, and then they would rent to us in an older building, older than this building, right? So when we moved into this building, the management had no problem renting to us because based on our income. And when the income was based on what we could afford to rent, they had no problem. Now here's the kicker. We went to the ministry's office and they gave us a printout and said, this is your entitlement.
Long time no see.
I'm just going to broadcast in one moment here. I'm just doing a live broadcast, and one of our former one of our former residents here actually lives here. So I'm gonna rebroadcast this in a few moments. That was nice, bumping into our old former neighbor. When he was walking along the sidewalk here, I was gonna, kind of introduce. Then he's like, "Oh no, don't put me on camera." So just to respect his privacy. That's cool. He's still the same. He hasn't changed. I can see that. That's good. But the management's changed apparently from here, and we just found that out by talking to them. And they've had a big turnover of management already, like twice since our other manager left. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's amazing. So like I say, the changing management over really quick here. So they're getting back. Just to conclude our little segment here, the management at the time was really disappointed that we had to move. Now getting to that point was that the ministry had said, this is the amount that you're going to be getting going forward. So whoever you rent from, this is the amount that you need to give them, because that is what your amount is. Well, that was a lie, because that wasn't the amount going forward. The amount was actually a lot less. Now, after we had moved, well, guess what? They increased it and said, "Oh, by the way, here's $125 increase." Or was it 175?
175.
175 at first, and then 125. You know, we could have just kept living in this place. But no, we had to leave the community that we know to go to an area that is unfamiliar, more expensive. And people would say, "Well, didn't you look into that before moving there?" We had to make a decision. We couldn't just go over there and spend a lot of time in Victoria. I mean, it's expensive to be going back and forth. We had to make a decision locally, and we had to run around from other managers. I'm not sure. We had to run around from other management in the area, and what happened was that the management basically just kept saying, "Oh, well, you like Sonjia was explaining, we had to be making $4,500 a month in order to rent from them in a place that was built in like 1980s, 1970s buildings, 1980s buildings. One was it was built in 1965. 1965, and you had to be making $4,500 a month. Are you kidding me?"
Oh, it looks like it's fenced up.
That makes no logical sense to me. I just wish that the government would actually start listening to people with lived experience. I want government to start listening to us and all disabled people, not just us, but all disabled people in the province of BC and all the way across Canada. Because I'm really getting sick and tired of having to re-explain to people, well, this is the reason why we had to move, because we didn't have enough money. Do we do this to seniors too? Do we do this to low-income people with disabilities? Does it really matter, like, who the person is? Do they have to be classified? Oh, no, you're a person with disability. You're a senior. You're a person with low income. No, you only get this much. No, you can't live here because you're not allowed to live here. No, sorry, you're not allowed to live in the city that you grew up in, or a city that maybe you like, that you want to live in. Nope, not allowed to live there, folks. Sorry. So that's going to change, and if you want to see lots of rallies, well, maybe that will happen. I don't know. I think people across the Canada may get pissed off and start joining rallies, peaceful rallies, just to make our point across in a peaceful demonstration. Is in front of your local MLA's office? Is in front of wherever they may be, where they want to be? I guess that's up to them to decide. All I know is that I'm going to keep on advocating and standing up for what I believe is the rights for persons with disabilities. No less than poverty level, folks. It's not rocket science. You give people a livable income so they can thrive in the communities that they want to be in. Wow, imagine if you gave people enough money to pay their rent and they can pay their bills, have some money aside where they can pay for other community events that they want to go to. Maybe they want to go to a recreation center. Oh, no, can't do that because it's based on household income. Oh, no, one of you can go, well, the other one can't. No, you're making too much money. Now, it needs to be based on the individual income in a household. Yeah. Now, another thing they need to advocate to change. This concludes the reasons why we had to move. We didn't want to move. And I wish we could move back, and we will move back. We will be moving back. I just don't know where. Do we move into a place that's built back in the 1970s that's run down and they want over $2,000 for it? Or do we move into a place that's over $2,000, like this place right here that I'm pointing right behind me? That's where we lived. Yeah. Our same unit. How much do you think it's going for? How much? I can tell you how much it was renting for. $1,775 before we moved. That same unit, $2,600. $2,600. Nothing's changed. Probably same flaw in the floor. It's probably still there too. Yeah. dishwasher's probably still leaking. The water didn't drain. Management didn't seem to care. Like, well, whatever. Okay. Manager's not there anymore either. But my point is that hey, it was still home. But, it looks like we might have a place we can cut through here. I'm just going to continue the voyage right across here. This is another building here that we looked into, that we wanted to move into. That was called the Meridian. It's a beautiful building too. That was a nice one. We wanted to move into that one, but it wasn't available at the time when we needed it. But the Henley though, the Henley, we saw that one getting built right from scratch, right from day one, and we're like, wow, wouldn't it be nice to live in there? And we did, but it's like, oh, you can have it, but now you can't. So yeah.